That ain't happening. How's it going? So I'm going to do a quick video about my solution to getting this Pullrite SuperGlide into my truck. A little bit of background so you kind of know where I'm coming from if you're interested. We used to travel in a nice little 24-foot Winnebago View. Didn't travel a whole lot. 3-4 nights was great, but we decided we'd like to go on longer trips, maybe even go down in the winter to some nicer climates like San Diego, Tucson. And so we decided to upgrade to a nice fifth wheel. Whole new experience. This is the truck I ended up with, 2022 Dodge Ram 2500 heavy duty or super duty or whatever they call them. I think it's big enough. It's got the diesel in it. I think it's rated at 16,000 pounds towing, and the RV goes like 10,500. And I think, you know, now that I've watched some YouTube videos, I'm nervous because you got, you know, the weight on the hitch and all that. And my sales guy said it was big enough, but I mean, it's pretty small as far as fourth wheel go. It's only 35 feet, only has 2 axles. I think I'm okay. Anyway, I decided to buy a Pullrite SuperGlide with a short bed. You know, I talked to a lot of people and read online a lot of places, and they talk about how you need a sliding hitch because that way when you're trying to maneuver, you can get your truck to 90 degrees without taking out the cab of your truck. Saw a few videos of that. And the SuperGlide, it handles it automatically. As you turn, it moves it away. Seemed like a good idea. Hope I did the right thing. This one has what they call a OE puck system. So the bed of the truck has some mounting holes in it, and all I've got to do is line these 4 pins up, drop them and lock them in. So super easy to get in and out. And when it's out, you wouldn't even know that it was designed for a truck. There's no rails left in the bottom. The problem is it weighs 300 pounds, and I don't have to call a couple of friends every time I want to get it in and out of my truck. I don't really have a good place to store it. I mean, if I take the trailer to Palm Springs for the winter, I'm bringing my truck home, and I like to get it out of the truck. So I decided the best thing to do is store it up there. So here's my plan. Thought I would video it. I watched a few videos about a winch and did a little research, and I've seen a couple ideas that I think are going to work really well. It is heavy, but the winch itself is rated at 440 pounds, I think, with one, and then 880 if you double the cable up. And what I'm planning on doing is putting some heavy-duty eye bolts up there, and then once it's up, if I want to store it, I'm going to strap it up so the weight's going to be on those and not on the winch. So the winch is only to get it up and down. So let's get started. Going to proceed very cautiously. I don't want to drop this thing on my truck or my head. Let me show you my plan. So before I get started and get my truck out of the way, I need to figure out exactly where I want that winch in the ceiling. The truck itself has, as I mentioned, the puck system in it. There's actually a 5th hole in the middle, right in the middle, where you can put a ball if you have a gooseneck. So I'm just going to measure to where that ball is. Doesn't have to be exact. So I'm about 6 feet from the wall. And this direction isn't too critical because I'll be able to move that winch. But I need about 3 feet. So 6 feet out, 3 feet from the garage. I want kind of the middle of where the winch is going to hang. As I mentioned, I can slide the winch back or forwards without any weight on it. I'm not going to put it on bearings so I can slide it with weight. I don't need that. Anyway, that's step one. Let me get my truck out of the way. And Amazon to the rescue. I believe you can buy the identical winch, or whatever you want to call it, at Harbor Freight. I think there's a different brand name on it, but other than that, they look the same. I bought mine from Amazon, and I've got a link to all the stuff I'm going to use. So basically, the way this is going to work is I've got a unistrut. I bought a 10-foot piece, and using my little handy dandy grinder saw, very handy, I cut it down to 6 feet. This will allow me to lag into 4 ceiling joists. My ceiling joists fortunately go this way, so it'll be real easy to do that. My plan is to use washers. So these are 5/8 by 2.5 inch lags, and I'm either going to use several washers and then probably a big fender washer against the sheetrock, so that I have some space above this so that I can slide this when I get it up there. So let's get the box open and you'll understand that a little bit better. I think I need a new blade. I guess it's called an electric hoist, not a winch. Winch. Freaking heavy. The one video I saw, the guy was having to hold this up and bolt it onto his strut. And that's why I came up with this idea that I think will work a little better. It's freaking heavy though. I guess the strut's got to hold the weight of this plus the winch, or the hoist, which is pretty heavy. But these are the brackets I was talking about, and they'll go here. And that way, as long as I've got some space here, I can move this winch back and forth. Not easily. I could use the bottom of the bracket with the pulley thing, but I don't need to lift it up and then roll it and let it down. This one, I think maybe I bought the bigger one. I don't know. Heavy. I may have to use the winch to winch itself up to the ceiling. All right, so there it is. So this is rated at 200 kilograms, which is 440 pounds. And then if you double the cable up by going back up, hooking any thing, going back up and hooking it, that effectively doubles it, so it's 880 pounds. So we bolt these on the bottom. We bolt this to the ceiling. I'm going to put a bolt in the one ends. I'm going to slide it on and all the way over. Then I'm going to bolt the other 2 ends. That way I don't have to actually, hold this thing up there while I'm trying to bolt this on. I can just slide it in. So let's get going. Pretty easy to do. I have my handy dandy electric socket wrench. They're so much better than they used to be. Okay, I guess let's just make sure that strut will slide through there, which it should do. Yep, easily. And it looks like I need about maybe 5 or 6 washers above it so it'll clear. Well, let's get this on the roof now. All right, so 6 feet over. Sharpie's shot. I think what I'm going to do is use my stud finder to make sure. These are probably T-joists. I want to make sure I'm in the middle of it. What we'll do is we'll drill the first lag right here, lag it in so it's threaded. I'll hold the strut up and stick it in, then I'll go into the other 4. So I'm planning on catching 4 altogether. That way I can make sure that, you know, it's got enough that it won't pull out of the ceiling. Looks like that screw is pretty much in the middle. So we'll go with that. So I'm going to put my first hole right here. But I'd hate to do that with a regular socket wrench. Okay, line it up with a hole. A lot easier than trying to bolt that from there. Okay. I think it's good enough. All right. Now to try to figure out how to put the hitch on there. So I got it in. As I said, if you hook this up in the winch and hang your thing there, basically you've doubled the cable. That makes it theoretically 880 pounds. I'm not sure my 4 lag bolts are rated that high. I'm not an engineer. I don't know what the weight rating is on a 5/16 lag, but I figure it's got to be at least 75, 80, 100 pounds, maybe more, and I got 4 of them. The one nice thing about this one from Amazon, it's you know, not really a brand name, but the one I bought, I looked at the one at Harbor Freight, and it seems smaller than this one quite a bit, and yet it was the same rating. But this one comes with a couple of these straps, which I might end up using on this, or I might actually just use some good winch tie-down straps. That's my next job. I got to figure out how do I get this on the cable so that when I pick it up, it's fairly balanced. It's not tipping a long way, and it could be I've got to let go from 4 corners. So we'll get working on that. That might take a few tries. So plan A is to use the straps that came with it. I've kind of wrapped this one down and around, this one around, and I think it'll come up pretty flat. So if not, we'll go to plan B. Looks like plan A works. All right. Other than this being so short, it's a pretty good winch. Doing okay?
way.
I know. I'm trying to get this one in first. Anyway, looks like it works. Down.
Yay. Yay, yay. Perfect.
Cool, huh?
Yes.
Now when I store it, I'm gonna pull it up and I'm gonna put 4 heavy-duty eye bolts and strap it up and then let it down on the strap so that there's no weight on the hitch when it's being stored. I think that'll work good. Anyway, there you go.
Yay.
One-man job.
Well, that's pretty good, I'd say.
We are filming right now, you know. I'm finishing my video. It is pretty good. That's okay, you can talk. All right, so I'll probably video hitching this thing up and trying this slide. We'll see. Never driven a fifth wheel. I'm not the best at backing up trailers. Should be an experience. See ya.